Hello, I'm going to show you this Excel spreadsheet, which is kind of a calculator for getting the right numbers for the most common policies, which are reorder points and periodic review, given the features or the characteristics of the situation you are in. So first, we have a set of cells which corresponds to all the information which is common to any policy you want to implement. So, for example, we have here lead time of 0.25, and we're assuming this is, in our case, months, although we could be working in weeks, days, whatever. We can use any time unit we want. After that, we have to type the cost per every order, which is S, which is 4,000. Okay. This data corresponds to the Best Buy example that I have in another playlist, and this is a exact the right numbers for that example. We have the holding cost, which was 32. In this case, it's the holding cost per one unit. In that case was one computer, and you have to use the very same unit you used for the lead time. So 32 was the cost for holding one computer 1 week. If we were using here 1 day, we should divide this by 5 if they are working days, or by 7. And we have the demand and the standard deviation. What we want to type here is the mean for the demand and the standard deviation. And the normal, that follows normal distribution, and the mean is 1000 in this case, and the standard deviation is 200. Once we have that, we can see the numbers for the reorder points and the periodic review. First, we'll see the reorder points. We have the economic order quantity, which is 500. You can check the formula here, and it corresponds to the Wilson's formula for the economic order quantity, which is the right balance between holding costs and ordering costs. So there's another playlist where I explain this. Given this lot size, the number of orders you're going to place is 2 per week. Everything referred to week, such as I said before, including lead time, holding cost, and demand. And for me to get the rest of the relevant information for this policy, I have to compute the demand during the lead time and the standard deviation during the lead time. And again, you can check the formula here. For example, the demand during 0.25 months, is 0.25 the demand for one whole month, which is 1000, and that product is what you have in this formula. The same you can do, you can check the formula here. So once we have the quantity, the number of orders, the demand during the lead time, and standard deviation during the lead time, we can have this set of cells here, which gives us all the information relevant for this policy for the reorder point. First, we need to fix a cycle service level. So in this case is 95%. You can change it to 9.7%, which is one of the examples I had in that playlist. And in that case, the K value we have to use to compute the safety stock is 2, but we can type here any value. So we have all the elements for us to compute. First, the reorder point, which is the summation of the demand during the lead time, plus K times 2, the safety stock, which is 2 times, the standard deviation during the lead time. You have that in the playlist. So in this case, this is my reorder point. As a result of that, the average stock I'll have is the safety stock plus half lot size, which is this 450, sorry. And we have the holding cost and the ordering cost. Okay, the holding cost is this average stock times 32, and this is the number, and the ordering cost is the number of orders we place per month times the cost of every order, which is 4,000, and then we have here the total cost. Now, the convenient thing about this spreadsheet is we can just change, for example, this is the cost, 22K, and we could try to increase our service level, let's say, for example, 1% to 98.7. When I do that, I'm going to see that K is larger, and in this case the total cost will be increased because I'll have more safety stock, more than 200, and that will have an impact on the holding cost. So when I press enter, I I see the impact of 22, 33 is the increase in the safety stock, and that has an impact on the cost. Okay, we can try to change any of the light brown cells, and we can see the impact and get numbers done very rapidly. When it comes to the periodic review, it is a rows here work exactly the same. First, we need to calculate the period, and for that, we divide the economic lot size 500 by the demand, and in that case, we have 0.5. So we want to place orders on average of this size, we would like to place 2 orders per week, per month, which means placing 1 order every half month. And that means having 2 orders, and we calculate the demand during the lead time plus the fixed period, and the standard deviation during the lead time plus the fixed period. And again, we have a set of rows for us to calculate all the values depending on the cycle service level we pick. In this case, again, is 95%. We have the demand during the lead time plus the fixed period, the safety stock, okay, calculated as the number of times the standard deviation during that lead time plus the fixed period. And we have the order up to level, which is the summation of both, and the average stock calculated as this formula here. And in all, we have in blue the holding and the ordering costs. Again, we can see that if we increase 1 point, for example, we'll use the number we have in the other playlist, and we'll get the numbers we have there. And we have this safety stock, which is larger than the one we had when we were using the reorder point policy. It's 246 against 200, and we see the total cost. So that allows us to compare easily what is the extra cost that a fixed period policy has when compared with a reorder point if using the same cycle service level. And we have finally some extra columns here that they reproduce exactly the very same calculations we have here, but we can put different numbers here to get how the costs evolve when changing the cycle service level, and this is the comparison across different service levels for one policy, the period point, the same for fixed period. And when you see the columns, you can compare different costs for the 2 policies for the very same cycle service level. So I'll have some other playlists with some examples, and I'm going to use this to reproduce and to do the calculations easily. You can have this spreadsheet if you use the link I will leave in the description of this video. I hope you find this useful and you find useful the spreadsheet. Thank you. Goodbye.